What's up, people? I am back for another video. Today we are reviewing Twisters, the sequel to the movie that I reviewed yesterday. And I gotta say, I said this in my on Twitter and Instagram. I don't hate it, but it is very much a forgettable, mediocre movie. My a problem. I have a couple problems with this movie. I don't like the tornado in this film. Feels like an actual living creature. It feels weird because in the first movie, the tornado is like a natural tornado, right? It doesn't. It just comes when it happens. In this movie, anytime, especially towards the end, like when we have to ramp up the action. Oh, they're in the movie theater. Large winds. It's like, is this thing alive? Is the storm like actually alive? Like, it's almost like a movie monster. This would be equivalent of like a. This could easily be like you just replace the winds with like an actual monster. It could be a monster movie. That's how bad it is. Like it's weird because the one thing about the first Twister is it is a little. I mean, obviously it's still Hollywood, right? But it still has that little bit of realistic feeling, like it's just a regular tornado. And that's my other problem. A lot of besides Tyler and Kate, I think is the name of the leads. The rest of the characters are just kind of forgettable. Like the friends in the original, they felt like real people. They felt like actual people. In this, they just are there to fill a screen to have extra characters to talk to. Because really, Tyler and Kate are the only characters that have any kind of, I guess you want to say, depth. You know, Kate, her friends, she was a storm chaser before, but an accident happened and people died, so she quit. But she was brought out, and it's just the characters. I'll admit, I did like Glenn Powell. He tries to show that charm, even with not the greatest script. He still tries to show his charm throughout the film, but it's just forgettable. Like it's a movie I guess you could watch if you're not literally aren't doing anything. If you want to just put it on in the fucking background, it's a background movie. It is the perfect like background movie if you're doing something else like cleaning or whatever. You just want to have a movie on. This is the perfect movie for that. The effects are good, I guess. Shockingly, they didn't have some bullshit like climate change shit in there. I'm shocked they didn't do that, but it's kind of like the first one, and I'll give it that too. It wasn't just. I actually thought it was just going to straight up just be the first movie. It wasn't. It tried to at least somewhat be its own movie. It shouldn't have been called. It shouldn't have been tied to the Twister movie though. You could have just had it be its own tornado film. I think that's what it should have been, or it should have just been a monster movie because the tornado, I'm going to say it again, it really feels like the tornado is almost like a monster in this film. When it will just randomly, it's almost like it's attacking them, when that's not how weather should feel like. Like the tornado in the first film actually felt like a tornado, like a regular tornado in actuality, because it's nature. It's not supposed to be like a monster. But that's what this felt like. The tornado is like living. It's straight up attacking them. Is what it feels like. I like noticing that. I'm like, why is the tornado attacking them? That's not how that works. Ugh. Anyway, it's not the worst thing in the world, and I think it helped that I went in with low expectations, so that's why I'm not like mad at it. And I wasn't expecting much from this movie anyway. I gave it like a 5. I think it's about where I'm at. 4.5, 5 out of 10. It's not the worst thing in the world. I guess if you want to watch it, don't go to the theater. Just wait till it's on streaming. It'll probably go on like Amazon or fucking HBO Max. Probably HBO Max is the first Twisters on there. Yeah, just wait till it goes one of those streaming services. You don't need to go like see it in the theater. So anyway, tomorrow, I'm probably gonna review The Descent. I've been wanting to review that movie for the last couple of weeks. I just didn't have the opportunity, so figured why not do it tomorrow. So I'll be doing that. Saturday will be the Pin Down podcast. I'll be on that, and then I'll probably Sunday do another Screen Rant. I know that bullshit show's over, but I've been meaning to do this. I need to do one, so we're gonna do one on Saturday. On Sunday, I'll find some time to do it. And yeah. Anyways, guys, let's get started on Twisters. Anyway, so the movie starts basically with our character Kate and her friends storm chasing, goes wrong, people died. So she basically kind of like similar to Bill Paxton in the first one, where he kind of, because of that, he retired and stuff. She basically becomes like a college graduate, whatever. The movie, the one thing though, it's just with her character, they try to give her death, but they should have just, they probably, because it's a sequel, but it's not really, because the only thing that's tied really is they have the Dorothy, the thing they had from the first one, which they don't explain how they fucking have it. That's my problem. They don't explain how they fucking have it. Why do they have the? They should have made her or Glenn Powell either their son, or she should have been their daughter from the couple from the first film. It would have made more sense, and at least you could add something tying the film together. Because this didn't need to be. That's the other. I guess I think I'm gonna say it. This didn't need to be called Twisters and tied to the first Twister film. You could have just had this be its own tornado disaster movie. Because besides the Dorothy in its own movie, you could just change the name. It really just feels like its own tornado film. It doesn't need to be tied to the actual Twister movie, But the film was really good. I mean, not really good. I meant to say it's just really boring. Some of the action was fine, like the tornado stuff. But like I said, tornado feels like a monster. Like it's actually attacking them. That doesn't work. Tornadoes don't work like that. It's actual nature. They don't just attack things. Yeah, they destroy stuff in the process, but it's like it's nature. It's like how Godzilla, like a force of nature, where it exists and it doesn't have a side, but just anything gets in the way gets destroyed. That's a tornado. It shouldn't be like an actual thing that's attacking things. That takes me out of it when you're doing shit like that. Because I'm like, now it's like a fucking monster. That's what this feels like. You just have to be an actual creature. This could be a monster film. So I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. Because really, there's not a lot to it. It's kind of like the first one. They have the technology, things go wrong, a couple of their friends die. The guy that brought her out of retirement basically kind of blames her. So she goes off. Obviously, there is a romance, but I will give it to them. They didn't like have it be the entire stuff up, but there's like a little thing with her and Tyler. But clearly, that's what they're setting up. And they had no chemistry, though. I will say, none of the characters. It's just a lot of the extra characters compared to the characters in the first one. Even the characters that were with Jonas, they feel like actual people. These just feel like just stand-ins. They're just there to be background characters. They don't actually feel like real people, and that's why the first Twister worked. Is these actually feel like regular people, and that's why the film works for me. But so they figure out a plan because the original Dorothy, Tyler helps her destroy it. I'm just kind of speeding up. There's not much to this movie, like. So they end up, like I said, there's a scene they go to the theater and like the tornado destroys the theater. It's like an actual monster. It's fucking weird that they did that. I don't know why they went that direction with it. So they managed. It's kind of like the first one. They survive, obviously, and I think they're setting up them as a couple later. And throughout the film, they have to show you how smart she is, which I don't have a problem with. It's just she's a boring character. I think if they gave her more, it could work, but she was just kind of boring. A lot of the background characters are boring. I do like Glenn Powell. He did try, but it's just he really didn't have anything to work with. So, but anyway, the movie's not the worst thing in the world. There's little things like obviously the tornado being treated like an actual monster tripped me out. I'm not gonna lie, because it's not how tornadoes work. Especially because the first one, for the most part, is relatively realistic. Yeah, there's Hollywood elements. It's Hollywood, even back in the 90s. You're going to have a Hollywood element to it. But the tornado was treated like an actual tornado. It wasn't like a fucking monster. I do like Tyler, the character. He was, it's Glenn Powell, so he's charming. So I think that's part of it. But the rest of the characters are just there for me. It just was kind of boring. It's not the worst thing. I'm going to keep saying it. It's not the worst thing in the world. And I'm going to say it. I think I liked it more than Longlegs. At least things happen in this movie compared to Longlegs. I didn't feel bored. I just wasn't into it. I think there's a difference. 5 out of 10. I don't think I'd watch it again. To me, there's only one Twister movie. I don't need to watch this again. This is a one watch for sure. So, but anyways, guys, we'll end it here. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be trying to review The Descent, and I'll figure out what I'll do Saturday and Sunday. But anyway, end it here, guys. Alright, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Like I said, tomorrow, The Descent. Movies 5 out of 10. This movie, Twisters. Not, like I said, I didn't hate it. I wasn't, mad at it, so. But other than that, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.